Just like a broken record, same old songs of accusation play. Like who are you to speak the truth? Just look at all your failures and mistakes. And if they really knew you, there's no way they could love you anyway. Oh, but I will fight the lies with the truth. Oh,
Hello and welcome to Send Help Podcast, a podcast and a lifeline for moms who are stuck in the trenches of mommyhood, bringing them encouragement through Jesus, laughter, and sisterhood. Anyway, hello everybody. I'm sorry, I keep turning my head away from the mic. All right,
We're on location, and
We
the
are.
setup is a little different.
We are on location at my parents' house
Yeah,
in my dad's office
that I painted
that you did paint.
like 12 years ago.
We are sitting in the red room.
The red room. It was fun.
It's true. We had a lot of fun painting.
We did.
I wish we could have a lot of fun painting at my house.
Yeah,
It needs it.
we should.
Okay. Yeah,
We've had some activity.
we have.
Yeah, both of our houses
Yes.
have had some activity.
To say the least.
You know, my favorite kind of activity is
That could go somewhere.
it could. It would be interesting to know where people think this is going. If you
true.
said my favorite kind of activity is ... eating tacos, you would be very close to being correct.
So true.
So, you know, with 3 kids, sometimes you are with the one kid and there is just nothing you can do about what the others are doing.
It's true.
And that's most often true when the bathroom is involved,
It's true. Once again,
right?
truth.
So I feel like I'm the only one that ever talks about the bathroom.
Well, I only have the one, which means anytime that I am indisposed, he takes full advantage of that.
Right? So, okay, well, this particular moment that I am leading up to was in the morning. It's right before, like, I've got breakfast.
Yeah.
Like,
Okay, so
in
it's
my
breakfast.
house, it's breakfast.
It's
It's breakfast
breakfast.
time.
Set the scene. It's breakfast.
It's before dawn. No, it's still dark in the house because I like to keep the mood down. I feel like they're calmer if I keep the lights off and make them think that the sun is not awake yet.
Oh, that works at your
That
house?
it's not really, because when they get to a room that they can see through the window, like, the sun is awake. It's daytime. And then it's ruined. But I keep the lights down a little bit, and like the waffles had popped up in the toaster because that is the breakfast of choice in our house is waffles. I had gone to get the baby. He's on the changing table. He had a really bad poop when he woke up. So I'm trying to clean that up, and it takes a while sometimes. So when I'm in the process of trying to change this diaper, I hear screams coming from the den,
Oh, no.
which normally, like, they're fighting with each other. Someone slapped someone pulled someone's hair.
But this one was different?
This was a different, the scream continued, and it got louder, and it got a little scary for me, like,
Yeah.
kind of like listening from the other room.
You're like, someone has died.
Yes.
What is
like, I
happening?
really thought, and Avery starts screaming, Mommy, Annabelle, Mommy. And so I'm like, oh, something has happened to Annabelle.
Something bad.
It's like something bad has happened. And I'm trying to, like, I've got poop all over me. And I'm trying to figure out, like, how do I can't leave him
Nope.
on the changing table. So I'm screaming, but I'm like, can you come in here? Like, can you come to me? Like, I'm trying to guide them with my voice. Follow my voice and come into your I'm in your brother's room.
I'm in Carson's room.
Yes.
I'm right here.
I'm right here. What is going on? And
Come
I'm trying.
here.
They both come running into the room,
Yeah.
And I do have the light on because when there is poop involved, you need the light
You need
on.
light. Yes.
So the light was on, which is not always the case,
Uh-huh.
but it was on this particular morning. So the girls both come running, like out of breath, running, like something is going on. And they climb into the rocker chair, like my one splurge for the last kid of the nice chair, for the midnight feedings or whatever. Like, so they jump, like they dive into it. It's banging against the wall because they've jumped into it so hard. And what is going on? There's a mouse.
Oh, no.
I didn't believe them. I totally didn't believe them. I'm like, okay, you saw something. Y'all stuff is everywhere. Okay. And I'm sure that there is some kind of stuffed animal or toy of some kind that is in the corner of the room somewhere. They've seen it like sticking out from underneath a basket or like under a book, or like it's just kind of poked out, hanging out there. And you think it's a mouse.
Oh.
So I'm like, okay, whatever. There's, oh no, there's a mouse in the house. Oh no, what are we going to do? So I finished changing but they were so adamant about it. I was like, okay, I'm going to go look. I'm going to go look for the mouse. So I put the baby back in the crib because that's the only way to contain him.
Yeah.
And I didn't even have to say, hey, y'all
Not
stay
for
in
long.
here. I know. He's going to climb out of it pretty soon. I watch him on the monitor. I'm like, yep, we should go get him out before he gets out himself.
And then he knows that he
and
can
then he
get
knows that he
out.
can. So I've got I didn't even have to tell them, hey, y'all stay here. Like they were not moving.
Oh,
they
wow.
were terrified. They were screaming. And I did not believe them. Okay. I really thought that I was going to go find like a sock or some random toy that was just hanging out somewhere.
Oh no.
So, and I'm walking around. I'm like, so where did you see it? And they're screaming to me from the other room. It was in the corner by the piano going into the kitchen. I'm like, okay, that's a pretty open space.
Uh-huh.
So
at least it's not in the toys.
it's not in the toys. I will see it pretty quickly if it's actually there. Y'all, I didn't see anything. I saw nothing.
Oh man.
So I'm about to okay, I don't see anything. There is nothing here. Y'all had to have just seen something that looks like a mouse. Well, right as I'm about to go tell them, you're wrong. There's no mouse.
Mommy was
Whatever.
right.
I thought, there's a basket, like a large basket of books in the corner. And I thought, I'm just going to go look behind that. I don't know why. I'm going to go look behind that. And as I was taking steps to walk over to that basket, because it's like catty cornered in the corner.
Uh-huh.
So there is like a little bitty space back there that something could have gone to. So as I take a step in that direction, it pokes its head out from that exact spot that I was about to go look in.
Mm-mm.
Y'all, there was a mouse in my house. So I didn't scream. I was very proud of myself. I did not scream, but I did the jump back. Your heart's pounding and racing and all these things start going through your mind. It's a mouse, but all these things, all these scenarios start going through your mind and you feel the need to climb up on the highest thing in the house, right? So I just stood there in the middle of the room going through all of these things and fighting the urge to climb on top of the counter because it's a mouse. I mean, I had a hamster when I was growing up.
Right. I mean,
so it's not that far off.
I
Right.
had mice.
Right. So I'm like, it's a mouse. It's a mouse. It's not a snake. If it was a snake, we would be throwing lit matches and burning down the house. I would be taking the kids and the dog outside and we would just burn the house down.
Right. Yes.
So-
that is the only plan.
Right. I'm like, okay, it's just a little mouse. Whatever. No, there's no need to. Okay, it's fine. It's fine. So I very slowly, because the lights were off in this room. This was one of the rooms that I was keeping the lights off in. So
Lights off, mouse in the corner,
Right.
kids in Carson's room.
Right. Screaming.
Only you can handle this.
yes. So I turned on the ceiling fan in that room has like a globe light at the top
Yeah,
of it. And
yeah.
then there's the overhead.
Right.
Like, so I turned the globe because it's like a soft, like mood setting
Uh-huh.
type of light. So I turned that on
Uh-huh.
because I didn't want to like turn all the lights on and it get
you're
scared.
setting-
And yeah,
you're
I'm
setting a
setting
mood
the mood for
for
the
a mouse.
to stay calm.
Aha.
Right? Like the mouse needs to stay calm. The mouse needs to not be afraid that there is suddenly a light on in this room and decide that it's going to take off because then I would be on top of the counter. So I set the calming, peaceful mood of the room and I tiptoe my way over to the corner so I can get a better look.
Yeah.
Right? It was huge. It was huge.
Oh no.
It was, can I say it one more time? It was huge.
It was not a mouse.
So I
That was
called
a
Dusty.
rat.
I called Dusty and he, like, I don't ever call him,
Yeah.
which, by the way, I have another story, very humorous, because it's the only time that I call him. He knows something is wrong and he answers the phone. If I text him, it's different. It might be a while before I hear back. But if I call him, okay, something must be wrong.
Someone has died.
Right. Someone has died. Something is wrong. Something is going on. I got trapped at Joann's by the presidential motorcade the other day and I had to call him because I had 10 minutes to go pick up the kids. So and that's the other instance where I'm like, so I'll need your help. I need you to answer the phone now. Trapped at Joann's. Like, that's wrong. Like, what could be horrible about that situation?
Joanne's Fabrics?
Yeah,
Oh, that's not a bad thing.
I know. Right. It's not, other than I had to pick the kids up in 10 minutes and I couldn't leave. They were literally blocking the entire street
And
for
you're
the
like,
motorcade.
guess I can't leave.
Guess I can't leave Joann's. They're just going to have to stay there.
I have to go peruse.
Oh no. But so I call him. I'm like, I think it's a rat because of the size. I'm pretty sure it's a rat. Like I saw like the tail when it turned around and to, like it poked its head out and then it turned around and ran back into the corner. I saw the tail.
Like a cathedral length train.
Yes. Yes. I'm like, this is a rat. This is a
Oh
straight
my
up
gosh.
rat in our house. That is how big this mouse is.
This is a small dog.
Yes. Yes.
Bigger than Jakey.
Bigger than,
Yeah.
yes. So, and he's like, I'm on a conference call. I can't leave. So, when this is over, I can try to come home at lunchtime. Like, you don't understand. The girls are not going to come out of the room. I've got to get them ready for school.
There is
they
a
need to eat
situation.
breakfast. This thing needs to be gone from our house. Like, what?
I
No.
can't leave. Then I won't know where
Yes.
it is.
If I leave this room, I can't watch it. I won't know where it is.
Oh.
So, but he's on a conference call. There's a very serious deal that's being like multi-million-dollar thing being worked out. Like he can't just hang up because, my wife just called and there's a rat in the house that I need to go take care of.
Right.
Sorry, guys. Let's hold on to your wallets. We don't need your money yet. Like you can't do that. So Hank. I'm going to bring Hank in. He's filthy. He's covered in mud because there's
He's an
spots.
outside
He's an
dog.
outside dog, but he's a large dog
Mm-hmm.
and he's a cow dog, which is, that's one of the reasons why I named him Hank because the breed that he is a cow dog.
Mm-hmm.
So he's an outside dog.
Yes. But
That's what's important.
he's supposed to track.
He's
and-
supposed to
and
track
get
and
things.
get things. And yes, he's supposed to be one of those dogs. And he protects us from the airplanes that fly over,
Right.
right? He barks
Yes.
and runs and chases them off.
Yes.
He chases all the squirrels away from
Yeah.
the tree. There has not been a cat in our backyard in 3 years since
Right.
we moved in.
Because he protects the airspace
Yes.
and the ground space.
His barks are loud enough that those pilots can hear him.
Yes.
Yes. Over their engines, thousands of feet up in the air.
I'm going to bring my protective
Yes.
warrior dog in.
And I told the girls, it is okay. I'm going to bring Hank inside. Okay, good. Hank protects us. Bring Hank inside. So I bring Hank in. He was so excited to be in the house. He sniffed around a little bit and then he like turned his little circles and laid down like 3 or 4 feet away from where this mouse was.
You're like, dude.
And I'm like, hey. And I'm like clapping and I'm like pointing to the corner, you know, like with the strong point, you know, the kind of point that I'm talking. I'm like, there's a Hank, over here, boy. Over here. Like he didn't care. He just laid down and was looking at me like, yeah, what's going on? You brought me in. Thanks.
He doesn't know the space well enough because he's not in there.
I know. But I'm like, surely you smell. Something's got to be wrong with his sniffer.
Yeah.
Like it just has to, because does a dog not smell? I've seen Lady and the Tramp.
I mean, even Sophie, your other dog, should have smelled.
Oh, she doesn't. No. Mm-mm.
No?
She doesn't care about any of those things anymore. She was
Dixie would have
asleep.
been all over it.
No. Sophie was asleep.
She'd
Sophie's
be
a
behind
tiny
me.
little,
Right.
some kind of poodle mutt.
Kind of looks like a Bichon Frise and a poodle, and
And I don't know.
yeah,
Yeah. She also kind of looks like the dog that sings He's a Tramp.
it's true.
Yeah, whatever that dog is, because she's got the crooked
Right,
jaw and everything.
it's perfect.
I should have named her whatever that dog's name
Trixie.
is. Trixie, yes. Should have named her Trixie. No, because then she would have been sassier than she is.
Oh, she's a Sophia Loren. That's
She
what I
is.
look. Yeah. Anyway,
So she didn't care. She didn't notice. She was like, "Where's my breakfast?" So yeah, something's got to be wrong with his sniffer.
yeah.
Because he did not even he was oblivious to anything that was going on. He's like, "Why are you waving at me?" Because I want you to come get this mouse.
So that didn't work.
It didn't work. Like, girls, did he get it? Did Hank get the mouse? No, he doesn't care. He does not care about the mouse.
You're like, no one else will handle this for me. Now I have to do
I'm
it.
alone in my mission.
Let me put on my
I have
warrior
never
gear.
felt so alone in my life. So I'm trying to figure this out.
Mhm.
I've got to trap it.
Yeah.
I've got to trap the mouse.
Gotta trap it. Can't kill it. Can't do it. Not
Nope.
gonna do it. Not gonna do it.
I mean,
That'll
how
be
am I
messy.
like? Do I
Yeah,
chase
no.
it around with a baseball bat? Like I've
No.
chased chickens before. I did not want to consider what chasing a mouse would be like.
Yeah. Rat.
Well, at this time, rat.
It's a rat.
I'm pretty sure it's a rat. So
It looks like Ratatouille rat.
Yes.
I mean, like,
it was so big, y'all. So I got a water pitcher. And I slowly approached it.
that you'll never use again.
Yeah. And I placed the water pitcher and it just sat and looked at me, y'all. Like with its little whiskers twitching, looking at me. And I just lowered it, like it didn't even move. So I just slowly lower the water pitcher down over it. And it was just like, I can't, y'all can't see the face. I can't just make the face at you because you can't see it. But it was just chilling.
It was a rat. Okay. I mean, I hate to keep going back to Disney films, but when you sent me the picture, and it was just kind of looking at you like, hey, even when you took the picture.
Yeah.
Like, hey.
Yeah.
Like Ratatouille.
Yes.
Like truly Ratatouille.
Yes. So then I'm
course.
like, okay, now it's trapped under this. Now what do I do with it? So I look around and I see a Frisbee. So I put the Frisbee like down and I slowly start moving the water pitcher so that the Frisbee in the water pitcher is like setting on top of the Frisbee. So
How
now
did you
I've
do
got
that with the lip of the Frisbee.
well, I didn't have to raise the pitcher enough for it to be able to get out.
Well, yeah, because he's huge.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it wasn't like I was trying to put a hamster on it. Like
Right.
this thing was like tall inside the pitcher. So I
Yeah.
just had to raise it like half an inch and it just stepped up on top of the Frisbee. And like suddenly I'm holding a Frisbee with a
Rat.
rat on it with the water pitcher
Yeah.
on top of it. Girls, I've got it. Mother has saved the day. So I'm looking at it and it's just staring at me. It's just looking at me like it's trying to tell me something. It's just twitching its whiskers and sniffing around and like, hey,
Timmy's in the well.
yes. So, it was a mouse. like after looking at it up close and personal through the water pitcher,
Mm-hmm.
it was a mouse, huge mouse. Which when I was telling Nita this story, she's like, "Oh yeah, those are the creek mice. Those things are huge."
Ugh.
Apparently, she's encountered them before.
Ugh.
So, and she said, "Oh yeah, I don't kill those," and I don't remember why she said because I stopped listening. I'm like, what? Why? But as I'm looking at it, I'm thinking of like my hamster when I was 8, and all of the pet. I'm like, this could,
Yeah.
scabbers.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ron loved that thing, even though he was an evil wizard. But whatever. Spoiler alert, if anyone happens to have not ever have seen Harry Potter. I'm looking at the mouse. I'm like, you're kind of cute, buddy. I don't know what to do with you. So I took him outside, and there's a tree in the backyard that has a flower bed around it. It's like, I don't want to just put him down. I don't want to just immediately release him because he'll come right back in.
Right.
So I had to take him further away from the house.
You're like, this is your new home.
Yeah, like I can't throw you over the fence, but if that's where you came from, maybe you'll find your way back there. So I released him into the flower bed that is around the tree, and he just like stepped off. He just like hopped off of the frisbee and took off like down this little hole that was out there. I'm like, is that your home? Did I bring you back home? Oh my goodness. I did take pictures
Yeah.
of the mouse inside the fridge. Well, I did have one picture of him to send to Dusty to say we have a rat in our house. And then I took another picture of him when he was inside the water pitcher. I'm like, look at how cute his little nose and his little whiskers. And it's just, So I had a problem. And then Dusty was like, well, I'll get some poison on my way home. And I was like, no, you can't kill it. I looked him in the eyes.
We have
You
a
can't
connection.
kill him. We have a connection.
We
You can't
imprinted.
kill it. We imprinted. Jacob. Anyway. So then we got into an almost argument because I was like, I looked him in the eyes. We can't kill him. And then it was, but how did he get in the house? I don't know, but we can't kill him. So we agreed to only put the poison like behind the stove and behind my sitting chair where I do the 5s.
Yeah.
And that was going to be it. I was like, well, were there traps that were catch and release? Like we're fishing or something?
Yeah.
Like catch and release. He's like, yeah, but they were a lot more expensive. I do not care. I have connected with this mouse. We cannot kill it.
No. I will name it Fievel.
Yes. And he will go west with me and save America. Y'all, like 2 days later, dead mouse on the back porch.
Oh.
Once again,
Was it
while Dusty was at work.
Was it him though?
I don't know, because while I was Marco Poloing you about the mouse,
Yes.
I saw 2
Oh my.
same size. They were both huge. Come up onto the back porch and go underneath the there's covers on the patio chairs, and go underneath that patio chair.
Oh no.
Cover. So they're living under there.
Oh.
They were living under there, and we had set up an automatic feeding bowl for Hank. They were living
feasting.
They were feasting. Every time it would dump him fresh food, they would go feast, which I also thought was, so Hank is friends. Like, is he buddies with these guys?
That's why he didn't mind.
He didn't
knows
mind
the
because
smell.
they've become friends. Oh, this is what my food smells like now. Because they would eat out of his bowl and go back onto the cushions, because there was, little pellets all over the place on the cushions. So we had to 409 the cushions.
Oh.
I've only found one, although Dusty had to change batteries on the automatic sink yesterday. And when he got under the sink, he's like, I'm pretty sure there's something under there.
No. Oh no.
Yeah. So I, once again, because the
Dusty's
kids wanted to go outside and play. I'm like, how do we go outside and play if there's a dead mouse on the back porch?
No.
So we had been putting down pavers, paved paver area for the smoker.
Mm-hmm.
So the shovel that we were using to spread the stuff that goes underneath the pavers,
Mm-hmm.
he was using a snow shovel, basically,
Oh,
because we have one of those.
weirdly.
Yeah. From that one time, that we got like 6 inches of snow and we couldn't leave our driveway. He came home with a snow shovel that day. So we have a snow shovel. That was what was right there. So that was what my tool of choice was for convenience sake, to scoop up the mouse. And it was already like in rigor mortis, y'all. Like it was,
Oh.
it was okay. So, and I carry it to the back fence
You just toss it.
to toss it over into the creek. Because, I mean, that's where it needs to go. That's where it came from. It needs to go back to its home. You know, that's the whole, the end of its life. Let's take you home, take you back to the creek. So I'm short. So obviously that fence is taller than me. So I had to lift the shovel over my head.
Oh, no.
And there's trees hanging down right there. So I'm trying to guide the shovel, the snow shovel, between the low hanging limbs of the tree, but above the fence to get it to the other side. And at that point, I can only rotate it so much to try to dump. Right. But I'm just sure that I have done it. I have flung this mouse off of the shovel into the creek. Right. I just had to have. So I bring the shovel back over and maybe I should check. As I'm bringing it back over the fence is when I decided to check. So it's over my head still.
Oh, no.
And I rotate it back the other direction. And just as a dead mouse is about to fly off the snow shovel into my head, I quickly reverse the rotation and shove it back over the fence with no care to the low-hanging limbs. And that second time did the trick, and that mouse is now in the creek.
Oh, gosh.
And this is when I Marco Polo you saying I need to start wearing a body cam of everything that I encounter during my day.
It's true. You should. We all need to see these things.
Mommy, can we go outside yet? I'm still disposing of the dead mouse. I can't tell them that. I can't tell them that the mouse is dead. I don't want to
No.
deal with whatever weird emotions because at this point, Annabelle has told me now that she wants a mouse for Christmas. So I can't tell her, I got to throw a dead mouse over the fence before you can come out, sweetie. I wanted that mouse for Christmas. I mean,
It's because you guys love Mickey so much. Good job.
I know. Oh my goodness. Carson never saw the mouse.
That's good.
So that was good. I don't know if he would associate the two. They don't really look anything like each other.
No.
Oh my goodness, y'all. Seriously. So I've been thinking a lot about the situation,
Tell us.
right? We still don't know. There's been a lot going on. I haven't really searched my house for cracks.
No.
I still have no idea where the mouses got mouses.
The mouses.
The mouses. I don't know. I still have no idea how the mouse got inside.
Right.
But it obviously got in twice because the first day I found it and put it back out in the flower bed.
Right.
The second time I found it, it was dead. And the only poison was inside the house.
Oh, no. So there's a hole.
There's a hole.
There's a hole in the
There's
boat.
a hole in the boat. Yes. So, but we still haven't searched for the hole.
Mm.
I don't know how many more mice live in that creek or in my backyard
Or in your house.
or in my house. How long that smell's going to be under the sink and how much worse it's going to be because we didn't go find the hole. So I really have been putting a lot of thought into this.
Yeah.
Because something crazy like this happens, you and I think at this point automatically think
Spiritual.
spiritual, podcast material.
Yes.
So I've been trying to figure out, like, I've got to tell this story. I have to. Like, how can I not tell the mouse story?
No, you have to tell the mouse story.
But what would be the point? So I've been asking God,
What is the point of this
what is
mouse?
the point of this mouse? Can you please tell me, God? And I feel like he is very loudly telling me that this is how we deal with sin in our lives.
Oh.
We let it in.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it's a little cute. We make a connection with it for sure.
We imprint.
We imprint. And if we don't kill it, if we just catch and release, we don't check for holes. We don't find the source. We don't know where it's coming in.
There's a funky smell.
There's a funky smell there. I wonder what that could be. We don't dispose of sin in the way that it needs to be disposed of. We don't, like, whether we catch and release, because it's a mouse and I still would have a problem killing it. We have to kill sin, though.
You do.
Whatever it is, we have to kill it, or it's
do.
going to come back in the house.
Yeah.
If we don't find where it's getting in, it's going to come back in.
Yeah.
It just is. What kind of footholds are we allowing in our hearts and in our minds for the enemy to come back in over and over and over? And even if we kill it, we have to take it out of the house,
Right. And
or
you
it will stink.
have to shore up the hole.
And
You can't just deal with it after it's happened.
right.
Yeah. It's like going into battle unarmed.
Exactly. I think the only person that has ever worked for was David, but he had an ultimate plan with a slingshot. So it's not really the same thing.
He was still armed.
He was still armed.
Yeah.
Yes. You brought a mouse into my house, God. And now you're telling me that's how we deal with sin.
Mm-hmm.
Is there something specific
Yeah.
that you are trying to point out to me?
Mm-hmm.
Well, we've been doing the 5s.
Yes.
And in the 5s, and I'm also doing a
Your Bible
Priscilla
study.
Shire study
Yeah.
that is discerning the voice of God.
Mm.
And they have started in the same area. Both of them have started in the same area.
Coincidence? I think not.
Right. And I feel like there was something else. I think that it may have just been our life group talking about something.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the other place that it was coming from.
Yeah.
But talking about obedience and submission. If we're not obedient to God, if we're not submitting to him, if I, in my particular case, because I feel like my life is so crazy, my kids wake up, and I know people that have to, get their families ready to go to work for the day or go to school for the day, probably get up really early all the time. I have not hit that stage of life yet.
You will.
And I am not a morning person. So I very much dread that portion of my life that will last for 18 years. But
More, actually.
I know. They wake up on their own between 6 and 7,
Right.
which for me, someone who slept until 10 or 11 every day until the first child was born.
Right.
Well, if I wasn't working, then that's not okay. It's not okay to work for them. It's obscene for them to wake up. And we got on this whole is the sun awake? No, then you shouldn't be.
But the stars are awake.
The stars are awake. The moon is awake.
That's my
No.
kid's argument. But the stars
Right?
are awake. I'm like,
Something else is awake, so I need to be awake.
Thank you so much,
No.
Christy, for letting him see Frozen
I
so
know.
young.
But she says the sun's awake, so I'm awake. So that's one of the things that I say, because they wake up before the sun comes up.
Yeah.
Like, is the sun awake? No. Then go back to bed. But they won't do it. So we are up anywhere between 6 and 7.
Mm-hmm.
And 5 o'clock seems just obscene to me. But what I have discovered, because I'm pretty sure God has done this on purpose, my kids wake up at 6 o'clock and come into my room. Like the second I'm done
They're up.
they're up.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like, see, sometimes you have to make a little sacrifice to spend time with me,
yeah.
because I try to find, 5 minutes that they're all being quiet, and I'll open an app on my phone. And he's been kind of telling me like, hey,
We need more time.
we
than
need more
this.
time together.
Yes.
Like there's an old Lauryn L. Harris song that's I Miss My Time With You. And that song like keeps, those are the only words that I remember. But it kind of is like echoing in the back of my mind the last few weeks. And the discipline of getting up, spending time in the Word, he has very much shown me the repercussions, my thought life, not necessarily my spiritual life. I do talk to him throughout the day. I turn to him for my problems. I go to the Bible studies, but my kid is there and I can't focus. So I have no idea what we talked about. Like it has, the last 2 weeks, he has opened my eyes to what my quote unquote quiet time
Yeah.
has become and how that has affected me.
Yeah.
I am not taking my thoughts captive. I have a Post-it on my refrigerator now. Thank you. That says, take your thoughts captive.
I think that may be your mouse.
Yes.
Yeah.
It totally is. But I have to be spending the time with him
Right.
in order to immediately replace with truth.
Right.
When you're not spending the time, I'm going to make it personal because I don't want to offend anybody.
Right.
If I am only taking 5 minutes here and there throughout the day of whenever I can get my crazy kids to be quiet for just a minute, and okay, well, let's close the app and I'll open it again later to finish the 3-minute devotional.
Right.
That's exactly.
3
That's
minute
not
devotional.
enough. That's not enough for me to write the word of God on my heart so that when the mouse comes back into my house,
You immediately take it
I
captive.
can take it captive, and then Dusty can kill it later. Spiritually speaking, I need to be able to take it captive and kill it.
Right.
I don't need to capture it and take it out to the flower bed because that's just going to come back in.
Eventually, though, that mouse, you're going to figure out where that hole is.
Yes.
And you're gonna close up that hole.
Yes, exactly.
And that mouse won't be a problem anymore.
Yes.
Yeah.
And one of the things I looked over, I only journal when I'm doing the 5s. Is that weird?
That is weird because I feel like that's something that the Lord has put in you specifically because you're such a beautiful writer and because you get your thoughts out.
I have a hard time. Yes. And I have a hard time sitting down and making myself take the time to do it unless I'm doing the 5s. So, and that's another thing. Like that's a big part of my quiet time that I don't do because it's a little more time consuming.
Right.
And that's something else.
So your
that he
thoughts are
has shown
staying
me.
in your head, good ones and bad ones.
Right.
And when you journal, okay.
It releases them.
It's totally. I just feel like the Lord
Yeah.
is just like, Christy, you need to write. You need to
Yes.
write. Like you need to get them out.
Yes.
Because that is one of the things that has tormented you.
Yes.
Are those
My
crazy thoughts. Yeah. And like if you can get them out, then they can't go back in.
Right. And I was reading over the last session that I did and something that I wrote. And you know how people talk about, and again, I'm going to make this personal because people have different opinions on this. People say that you take the broken pieces and you put them back together, and where there are holes, God can shine his light through. I disagree with that.
Yeah.
I think that when you let God heal you, he makes it new. He makes it whole.
Absolutely.
He makes it complete. And one of the things that I had journaled was, I don't want your light to shine through the holes. I want you to be glorified in the fact that there's no seams.
Boom. I mean, yes.
Right. Because
Yes.
that also glorifies God.
Absolutely.
Like his light shining through your broken past. Yes.
Yeah, but the
But
thing
metaphorically,
is,
I feel like the shining through the holes of the vase that got broken, like that's not metaphorically accurate. It's the fact that there was a crack there that you can't see anymore because he has healed it so perfectly.
Yeah.
And
You don't have to necessarily have those scars.
right. He's this past week while I was journaling, he said to me, "You want there to not be any holes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the only one that can do that for you. I'm trying to do it. You're not letting me."
Mm. Well,
And that's exactly like, if I want those holes to be fixed so that that mouse can't come back in,
yeah.
I have to. I'm going to be getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning for the rest of my life, y'all.
It's true. At least
And
for
I
a while.
am not a morning person.
What's so funny, it's like my whole life, my mom has had a little plaque on her wall, and I have no idea where it is in this house right now. But it says, God can mend a broken heart, but you have to give him back all the pieces.
All the pieces.
And the heart, like in the little thing, is whole.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it's so good. And it's always been something that because I used to see it every single day of my
Right.
life. That I never really, the cracked pot metaphor, while it's beautiful, I want to be whole
Yes.
completely.
Yes.
I feel like that's a bigger miracle.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, not that it's not that being able to
Right.
bring like when I think of the
Both
cracked
sides
pot, yeah.
of the cracked pot are excellent metaphors, but I think that the shining through metaphor just leaves a little lacking in how miraculous God can be.
Yeah. He can make you completely whole
Yes.
and give you a new pot.
And maybe I'm overthinking the pot metaphor.
No, I think
But-
I think that it's speaking to you directly.
Yes.
And I think that's amazing. And like for me, it's the pieces of the heart. And like in my life, I've given pieces of my heart away. And
Mhm.
like when I see that person, it's like you're revisiting that piece of your heart. But the thing is the Lord's replaced that piece of my heart. Like
Right.
he's given
Yes.
me a new piece,
Yes.
so I am whole. And so when I feel those feelings again, or I revisit that piece, whether it's a friend or a boyfriend or whatever, I know that I am still whole. And that's just a part of my life. That's a piece of my heart that I'm not going to forget,
Right.
because it's a part of my life, but I'm not hurt from it anymore. It's total restoration.
Yes.
And that's something that the Lord's been walking me through like in the last couple of years, because I've had crazy people from my past pop up and they're all going to my church now. And one was an ex that we are on great terms now. And I'm so grateful that the Lord did what he did. But like every time we hugged at church, and he would come over and find me and hug me, and he'd come and find my husband and hug him. And then he'd hug my dad, just go down the line. It brought so much restoration for me and for him.
Mm-hmm.
Every time we hugged, there was more restoration
Yes.
that happened. And it's amazing what God can do. He can take total brokenness and make you completely whole again. And you don't
Yes.
have to have those scars. I used to wear my scars like a badge of honor.
Right.
And now I don't have to.
Right.
Because I don't even remember that some things have happened to me in my life, because it's not something
And
I dwell on anymore.
That's walking in freedom.
It is. Absolutely. He can fix the holes.
He can.
We just have to give him all the pieces.
We do.
And time.
When you say that, and time, his infinite time, not my microwave Instapot time. When you say like we have to give him all of the pieces, what comes to my mind is, God, show me if there is a piece that I'm holding on to.
Absolutely.
Because I don't know that that's the piece. Like there could be something that I'm holding on to that I don't even know that I'm holding on to, but he needs me to give him that piece back.
Right.
And I don't even know that it's a part of the puzzle.
Yeah. And that's what's something that's really beautiful is that I don't feel like that we have to go searching for those when it's time for us to give
Right.
that piece up. He shines a light on it.
Right.
All we have to do is be obedient and
Yes.
open and submit to him
Yes.
and submit that piece to him
mm-hmm.
and say, all right, I'm ready.
Yes.
But it's not like an agonizing, horrible process to hand
Yes.
it back over. There's so much grace that he gives you in it that he just shines a warm light on it. And it's like, okay, I need to look over there. Oh, I didn't even know that was there, but that's okay.
Right.
Because when it's time, the mouse will show its head.
Yes.
And then he'll just look at you and you'll just be able to scoop him up with a Frisbee.
Scoop him up with a Frisbee. Take him back out to the flower bed. I mean, I kept thinking of like Peter Rabbit and like, you know,
Oh, you just
every
went
time
everywhere.
I know. Every time I mow, I'm like, are there little mice? I read a book when I was little and like it was a little family of mice and like the lawnmower would come through and they would all fear for their lives. And I think of those things.
Well, you
every
think of,
time I
I
mow.
think of bunny burrows when you say that.
Yes.
Because they are just, you have no
yeah,
idea
we've-
that they're there.
We've done that a few times. And then Hank chases them. See, like, where was he with the mouse?
It all comes back to Hank. It's like throw this beautiful metaphor
I
out the
know
window.
he's like
It's
8 years
just
old
Hank.
now.
Hank the cow dog.
Hank the cow dog. He's a good dog.
I have a precious photo of him that we can add to this whole thing because
Yes.
everybody needs to see
He's
sweet,
been
sweet
through
Hank.
it, y'all. He
He
has been
has.
through it, but he's a good dog. He really is.
Friend to mice everywhere.
Yes.
Well, it's the Mickey Mouse curse in your house.
I know.
Like
We love the mouse. Oh, y'all. Okay.
So ask the Lord, you guys. Ask the Lord if there are pieces that you need to give back to him.
What mouse are you letting into the holes?
Yeah. What mouse is in your house, guys?
And if you give a mouse a cookie, don't feed the mouse like I did with my dog's food.
Is this just going to be a podcast of total metaphors and lines from books and movies?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Guys, thanks so much for listening. Like, share with a friend that you think, no, we can't do that. Bump the husband in the elbow. Share with a friend that you think needs it. But no, if you have enjoyed this week's episode, please share it on your Facebook page or your Instagram page.
Let us know what mouse is in your house and how can we be praying for you to shore up those holes. Shore up?
I don't know. I'm not sure what the word is. You said it earlier and I was a little confused. Please like us on Facebook and Instagram at Send Help Podcast. Follow us on Twitter at Send Help Podcast. Check out our website at www.thesendhelppodcast.com and go ahead and subscribe to our mailing list while you're there. You'll get the blog in your inbox every Monday.
It's a beautiful blog.
So wonderful.
It's lovely.
Lovely. It's a jolly holiday.
With Mary. Anyway, we love you.
We love you guys.
We'll see you next week.
Bye.